Okay, I'm starting. How's it going, everybody? I've got Tom's Tantrum here from Mangrove Outfitters. Now, I've never tied a fly before in my life up until this point, so I also grabbed this tie flying kit from there along with this non-rotary vise. I've given this a couple trial and errors here, so hopefully this won't be too bad. I also went ahead and rigged up a little trash catcher thing here, which Tom has in his video, which is very handy once we get to the deer hair. So I've got my laptop over here. I'm gonna follow along. I'm opening up the box. There's a lot of goodies that come with it. First, we've got some awesome stickers. I don't know where those are gonna go yet. Another koozie, a nice little thank you card, and all of the ingredients for the tantrum. Now, they give you plenty of ingredients, or supplies here, I should say, for this. I've already kind of dwindled my supply with all of my attempts, but I'll show you all of the flies that I did attempt to create at the end, so you can at least see, I'd say the materials go a long way. But let's get to it, and we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna lay all this stuff out a little bit so it's kind of easier to work with. And like I said, this is my first fly that I've ever really attempted to tie, and it's definitely challenging, but it's fun once you get into it. So we'll get started here and we'll see how it goes. And I'm just gonna follow along with the video. I won't be nearly as graceful as Tom is while he's doing it, but we will, hopefully we'll get close here to the final result. So the first step is obviously getting your line on here. This is always kind of a challenge for me, getting this bit just started. But every now and then it works out. And the first step is your first bundle of ostrich hair here. Kind of trim it to fit. And then we move right into a few strands of this flash boo accent. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The shiny blue stuff. And we cover that with more ostrich feather here. And I laid the original one on here to start to see kind of where those feathers line up on the vise, kind of as a guide as to the size of this thing at the end, because that can kind of get away from you while you're doing this. And then we've got I already forgot what this was called, the Blue Palmer Chenille. Nobody knows, but it's going on. This one's interesting. It's different than the rest. Kind of wrap this on here 3 times, no more, no less. It's kind of tricky getting this to lay the right way sometimes, but and then what I've done sometimes is trim some of that away if it gets too messy up there. Now comes the fun part, the deer hair. If you've never worked with this before, it's pretty challenging and likes to make a huge mess, but once you get the hang of it, you can manipulate it a little bit easier. Now what I've been doing with this so far is once I've layered this deer hair on here at this point, I've actually just finished it at this step. I've yet to master the final step here where he kind of lays it in front of the hook. That is a bit of witchcraft that I'm not so sure how it works yet, but I'm sure with a little more practice I'll eventually get it. But I wanted to show you guys at least how this looks a few flies in. And now we take like a flexible razor blade or your scissors, and you just kind of shape this head here. And you don't want to get carried away in this stage because you'll end up cutting off everything that you just did. But again, a little bit of practice with the razor blade and it'll come out. Now I don't have the fancy vise that flips over like Captain Tom, so I just undo the fly there and spin it like that. We'll continue to shape the bottom. And there we have it. Tom's Tantrum. Not too bad. This is what his looks like. So a little comparison. See, once he adds that deer hair on the end, he's got a bigger head for sure, but I'm happy with the way this came out. I think something will still eat it. So just to show you the progression, which is kind of entertaining, this is where we're at. This was the first attempt. Tied it backwards, so got to pay attention to that. And from there, the working on the head with the deer hair is where it gets interesting. These are all, that was first, second, third, fourth attempt. Like I said, it's good to keep an eye on where the feathers are. On the one that they give you one included in the box. I might have left that out, but it's good to put that on your vise and see kind of where those fall, and then keep that in mind as you're tying your others. Obviously, this one was huge. Even this one that we just made is probably, a little bit bigger, but yeah, here's another one. This one came out pretty good. And here's the original again for comparison, but we're getting there. It just takes a little bit of practice, but all in all, super fun. Definitely another cool thing to do and start experimenting, and yeah, get over there and get a box, and I'll be getting the light bulb and the other root beer one, the redfish one, whatever it is, and definitely going to start tying more of these and get out there and get a fish to eat them, hopefully.